What does working 996 in China mean? Why has it become such a common practice to work overtime here in China? And why do many employees have no choice than to accept this? China is the most populous country in the whole world. So what does that mean for the labor and employment market here? Let's find out in today's video. Before we start with today's content, my question to y'all. How many hours per week are you working usually in your job or in your business? Do you think your work time is reasonable? Would you like to work more? Or would you like to work less? Let me know in the comments below. If you don't know me yet, I think it's time. My name is Mark and I am in China, in Chengdu City. Of course, I want to welcome everyone to today's video. It's another lockdown day here in Chengdu City. Already the 9th day of this time's citywide lockdown. So it has been more than a week, and what has changed? Not so much. Actually, the measures are getting stricter. Now some areas of the city have gotten the notice that they cannot even order takeout. They cannot even order groceries. They cannot be delivered to their home just to avoid the COVID from spreading. In the same time, there have been rumors that this current lockdown is going to take another couple weeks, maybe even until the end of the month, because the government just announced, I guess they are operating under really huge pressure from the central government. They announced that they're actually going to pursue the realization of zero COVID here in Chengdu in this current wave. So if you want to get to zero cases, definitely that's still gonna take a while. Now, I have just been reminded by a friendly security man to put on my mask for my protection. And usually if I'm in areas where there's a lot of people or inside closed buildings, I will wear the mask just out of respect and yeah, just to be sure, you know. But right now you can see there's no one here except me, so that's why I think it's okay. I think it's relatively safe to walk around here where there's no people without a mask. Now, 996, that is the saying or the principle of working overtime. Basically what it means is you're working every day from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. so that's 12 hours on 6 days every week. So in total, if you calculate that, you get to 72 hours of working time every week. Now that does sound quite tough, and I'm sure it is. And the fact is that actually a lot of Chinese people, a lot of Chinese employees actually have to work in this manner. But why do so many employees all over China accept this fact, this kind of working hours? It is actually because they do not have so much of a choice. As I told you in the beginning, China is the most populous country in the whole world. Almost 1.5 billion people in this place. As you could guess, it's really hard to have enough employment, enough work for all of these people. This is why this sheer amount, this huge population creates a very big competition among Chinese for work. That means if your employer, your boss asks you to work overtime, or in bad cases work 996, you will think quite long if you should reject him or not. Because if you don't do it, it might be that there's hundreds, thousands of other people who are willing to do it for the same money, because probably currently they're unemployed. Maybe they're unhappy with their job. They just want to find something else. Maybe they even have worse working conditions, so they'll be happy about your workplace. So you could call the situation an employer's market. It means for employers it's really easy to find new employees. It's very easy to find new labor, and you have to stick to your job, because if you don't, you might end up not finding any new work anytime soon, or you have to get along with something even worse. This also reflects in the basic working conditions, but also the safety and protection that employees here have. While in theory they have about the same rights as people or employees in Europe, but rarely they get to enjoy these rights. While theoretically you actually also have a lot of rights and a lot of laws that should protect you from, let's say, abuse, or from working overtime, or just from randomly being fired or laid off. In practice, it's actually much more difficult to achieve this. Because if you want to argue or go to court with your employer, it might take you a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of energy, and basically the people here, they are not willing to spend so much efforts just to get to their rights. Well, I think that sounds quite dramatic, but as I said, there's not so much choice for employees here. Either you go and open your own business, which is also difficult right now in the current economic situation, or you just have to listen to your employer. You have to work overtime. If you don't, then your employer will just tell you, you can leave, no problem, because he knows he's going to be able to find a new employee in a relatively short amount of time. But this might not necessarily apply to you. If you try to change an employer, if you try to find a new job, it might take you some time. Maybe you're not going to find anything right away. Maybe you're just not going to find anything that suits you or that you like, or where you earned even close to as much as you did before. And this might turn out to be a huge problem, because the pressure in Chinese society is quite big. Most of the younger people do have houses, do have mortgages, do have cars that they have to pay off, and they have living costs. Maybe they have families, maybe they have children, so they cannot afford to lose their jobs. So all of these aspects just created this unfortunate situation where more and more people start or end up working 996 shifts, 70 hours per week, maybe even a hard job, and not even having enough time for their families and things like that. But as we already heard, it's very difficult to change anything because of the huge population that they have here in China. So it's just a matter of competition. Dying off. Do you remember these guys? Just a month ago, if you were already watching my videos, which I hope you did, you could hear them in many of my videos because they make a lot of noise. But right now it's getting colder. It's already September now, and it seems like their season is over, which is not too bad. You can see that bike with a microphone or something like that on it, telling the people to wear their masks and don't stay outside. It's reminding you to go back home and stay at home and don't be outside for so long. Now, I want to know, what do you guys think about China's 996 working culture? What would you do if you were in the same position? If you would know about the huge competition you're facing and your employer, your boss, would ask you to work overtime or to work 6 days a week or to work 10 or even 12 hours a day, would you accept it or would you refuse? How would you try to solve this situation? Let me know in the comments down below. Now I'm about to arrive at the supermarket and it's time for my daily groceries shopping. It's also time to wrap up today's video, and I hope you liked today's content. I hope you found it interesting. If you did, then don't forget, leave a like under my video. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more interesting stories and analysis from China and the rest of the world. As always, thank you very much for joining in today's story, for staying until the end, and for watching. Of course, I really hope to see you in the next video. Some really big screens getting set up here in the park. See you!